The great hall of the Galactic Empire stretched for hundreds of meters. Its walls glowed with the light of 1,000 conquered worlds. At the center stood Commander Zekthor, his body covered in scars from 50 years of war. He was missing his left mandible, torn off during the Void Wars. His 3 eyes focused on the council members who sat in their floating chairs above him. "This world is different," Zekthor said. His voice was rough, like stones grinding together. "I am telling you, do not attack Earth, especially do not harm their females." The council members looked at each other. Some laughed. Others made dismissive gestures with their appendages. Empress Valkara leaned forward on her throne. Her skin shimmered with colors that showed her amusement. "Commander Zekthor, you have served the Empire for 5 decades. You have conquered 23 worlds yourself. Why do you fear this primitive planet?" She waved her hand and a hologram of Earth appeared in the center of the hall. "They have not even left their own solar system. Their weapons are chemical-based, crude, simple." Zekthor's mandibles clicked together in frustration. "Your Majesty, I have watched them for 6 months. I have studied their history, their biology, their culture. These humans are not like other species we have encountered." "All species say they are different," said Council Member Drax, a massive creature with armor plating covering his entire body. "All species think they are special. Then we arrive, we eliminate their warrior males, and we take their females for our breeding programs. It has worked 847 times. Why would 848 be different?" "Because human females are not weak," Zekthor said. He activated his own datapad. Images filled the air around them. "Look at this. A human female named Sarah Martinez. She weighs only 60 kilograms. A carnivorous animal called a bear attacked her children. The bear weighed 180 kilograms. By all logic, she should have run. She should have abandoned her offspring to save herself." The council watched the footage. The small human woman threw herself at the massive animal. She was torn apart, her blood covering the ground. But she did not stop. She fought until the animal retreated. Her children survived. She nearly died. "Maternal instinct," Valkyra said with a wave. "Many species show this behavior. It is temporary. It fades. Watch this one," Zekthor continued. More footage appeared. Human females in military uniforms engaged in combat. They moved with precision and deadly efficiency. They did not hesitate. They did not break. These are their female soldiers. They fight alongside their males. In some of their nations, females make up 20% of combat forces. "Still a minority," Drax said. "The males are the warriors. We eliminate the males, the females surrender. This is basic conquest strategy." Zekthor felt his frustration growing. He had seen too much during his reconnaissance mission. He had watched human females perform surgeries that lasted 18 hours. He had seen them compete in athletic competitions that pushed their bodies to the breaking point. He had observed mothers working multiple jobs to feed their children, sleeping only 4 hours a night, never complaining, never stopping. "Let me tell you what I learned about human history," Zekthor said. "They have had countless wars among themselves. In one war, their males were dying in such large numbers that females took over all manufacturing. They built weapons, vehicles, and aircraft. They kept entire nations functioning while their males died by the millions." He pulled up more images. This female was named Joan of Arc. At age 17, she led armies. This one was Rani Lakshmibai. She fought an empire while carrying her infant son on her back. These were called night witches. Female pilots who flew bombing missions in primitive aircraft. They were so effective that enemy soldiers lived in terror of them. "Ancient history," Valkara said. "Surely their modern females are softer, weaker. We have seen this pattern before. As species become more advanced, their survival instincts dull." Zekthor pulled up his final piece of evidence. This was recorded 3 weeks ago. A human female named Chen Wei. Her daughter was trapped under a vehicle that had crashed. The vehicle weighs 1,800 kilograms. This female weighs 55 kilograms. Watch what happens. The council watched in silence as the small woman grabbed the vehicle and lifted it. Her muscles tore. Her bones cracked under the stress. She screamed in pain, but she lifted it high enough for someone to pull her daughter free. Medical reports showed she had damaged her spine, torn both arms, and herniated 3 discs. The doctors called it impossible, but she had done it. "Adrenaline response," Drax said, but his voice was less certain now. "Temporary strength under stress." "Yes." Zekthor said quietly. Now imagine what happens when you kill their males, their sons, their fathers, their brothers, their partners. You will not be creating stress. You will be creating rage. Focused, intelligent, calculated rage. He stepped closer to the council. I have fought the Krelian berserkers. I survived the Void Wars. I have seen species that evolved on worlds with gravity 3 times Earth's normal. But I'm telling you, as a soldier who has seen true war, do not do this. Do not attack Earth. And if you do attack, do not touch their females. Empress Valkara was silent for a long moment. Then she turned to her advisors. What does our intelligence say? A small insect-like creature scurried forward. Your Majesty, our biological analysis is clear. Human females are smaller than their males by an average of 13%. They have less muscle mass, lower bone density. They experience regular hormonal cycles that affect their emotional stability. By every measurable standard, they are the weaker sex. Once we eliminate the males, the females will have no choice but to submit. And their technology? Valkara asked. Primitive. They have nuclear weapons, but they lack the delivery systems to threaten our fleet. Their military strategy is outdated. We will achieve total victory in 72 hours. Valkara looked down at Zekthor. Commander, you have served with distinction, but I believe your extended time observing this species has made you too cautious. Perhaps you are getting old. Perhaps it is time for you to retire. Your Majesty, please. Silence, Valkara said. Her voice was not angry, but final. The Council has decided. We will proceed with Protocol 7. We will eliminate the human males. We will take the females for our breeding programs. We will harvest their planet's resources. Earth will become world number 848. Zekthor felt something cold settle in his chest. He had seen this before on one other world. The Council did not know about that world. That mission had been classified. Only 5 soldiers had survived to retreat. The species they had fought was extinct now, but they had taken 90% of the Empire's invasion force with them. Then I ask only one thing, Zekthor said. Do not send me with the invasion force. I do not wish to die on Earth. The Council laughed at this. Even Valkara smiled. Granted, Commander. You may remain here. Consider yourself on permanent leave. Your services are no longer required. As Zekthor left the Great Hall, he heard the Council already making plans. They discussed how many breeding females they would take, how many resources they would strip from the planet, how they would parade the human females through the Empire as examples of their power. Zekthor walked slowly back to his quarters. He passed young soldiers who saluted him with respect. He had trained many of them. Good soldiers, loyal soldiers. Soon they would be dead soldiers. In his room, Zekthor sat in the darkness. He thought about the human female he had observed most closely during his reconnaissance. Her name was Elena. She was a scientist, a doctor of the brain. She had a mate and 2 offspring, both male. She worked long hours but always made time for her family. Zekthor had watched her laugh with her sons, teaching them about the world with infinite patience. He wondered what Elena would become when her family was taken from her. He wondered what all the human females would become. May the old gods have mercy on your souls. Zekthor whispered to the empty room, because humanity's mothers, daughters, and sisters will have none. 3 days later, the invasion fleet departed for Earth. 300 warships carrying 500,000 soldiers. The Empire's finest weapons. The Empire's best commanders. Zekthor watched them go and felt only sadness. Not for humanity, for his own people. They were about to learn a lesson that would cost them everything. They were about to learn that the most dangerous creature in the universe is not the one that looks most fierce. It is the one that protects what it loves. The sky above Moscow turned dark at exactly 3:47 in the afternoon. Dr. Elena Volkov was in her laboratory when the first ships appeared. She looked up through the window and saw them. Hundreds of them. Black against the autumn sky like a swarm of insects. The television screens across the city came alive with emergency broadcasts. People poured into the streets looking up. Some took photographs, some screamed. Elena stood frozen, watching as smaller craft detached from the main ships and descended toward the city. Her phone rang. It was her husband, Dmitri. Elena, take the boys and go to the shelter now. I love you. Where are you? She asked. I'm at the base. They're calling everyone in. I have to go. His voice was calm, but she could hear the fear underneath. Elena, promise me you'll protect our sons. Dmitri, wait. The line went dead. Elena ran from her laboratory. Her sons were at school 3 kilometers away. She got in her car and drove as fast as she could. Around her, the city was descending into chaos. The alien craft were landing in the streets. Soldiers were pouring out of them. Then the drones came. They were small, about the size of a football. They moved through the air with impossible speed and precision. Elena watched in horror as one approached a man standing outside his car. The drone scanned him with a blue light. Then it fired. The man fell dead. The drone moved to the next person. A woman, it scanned her. The light turned green. The drone moved on, leaving her unharmed. Elena understood immediately. They were killing the males. She drove faster. The school was in chaos when she arrived. Teachers were trying to organize the children. Elena pushed through the crowd, screaming her sons' names. She found them in their classroom. Mikhail was 12. Pavel was 9. They ran to her crying. "Mama, what's happening?" Pavel asked. Elena had no answer. She grabbed both boys and ran for the exit. Outside, the drones were everywhere. She saw them kill a teenage boy no older than 15. She saw them kill an old man who must have been 80. They did not discriminate by age. Only by sex. A drone approached them. Elena pushed her sons behind her. The drone scanned Mikhail. The light turned red. Elena's heart stopped. She threw herself in front of her son. The drone hesitated. It seemed confused. It scanned her. Green light. It moved around her, trying to target Mikhail. Elena grabbed the drone with her bare hands. It burned her skin. She did not let go. She smashed it against the ground again and again until it stopped moving. "Run!" she screamed at her sons. They ran together through the streets. Explosions rocked the city. Buildings collapsed. People were dying everywhere. Elena saw other mothers doing what she had done, trying to shield their sons with their own bodies. Most failed. The drones were too fast, too many. They made it to a subway station. Hundreds of people were already there, hiding in the darkness. Elena held her sons close. Around her, women were crying. Children were screaming. And the men were dying. Even here, the drones found them. They came down the stairs and methodically killed every male they detected. Elena covered her sons with her body. She felt the heat of the drone's weapons passing over her. She felt Mikhail shaking beneath her. And then she felt nothing. When she opened her eyes, Pavel was crying. Mikhail was not moving. For 48 hours, the killing continued. Across every continent and every city, the alien drones hunted. They killed approximately 2.4 billion human males. Young and old, soldiers and civilians, leaders and workers. They killed them in their homes, in their workplaces, in the streets. They killed them efficiently and without mercy. By the 3rd day, the drones stopped. The aliens thought their work was done. Lieutenant Amy Chen stood in what was left of Camp Pendleton. She was 28 years old and had served in the Marines for 6 years. Around her were the bodies of her unit, all males. Every single one. She was not alone. 37 female Marines had survived. They stood among the dead in silence. Amy looked at the alien ships landing in the distance. She looked at the weapons scattered on the ground. She picked up an assault rifle. "What do we do, Lieutenant?" asked Private First Class Sarah Rodriguez. Amy checked the rifle. It was loaded. She looked at the other women. They were all watching her, waiting. "We kill them," Amy said. "We kill every single one of them." In Nigeria, Amara Okonkwo sat in front of her computer. She was an engineer, specialized in communications and networks. Her 3 brothers had died protecting her village from the initial assault. Now she sat in a bunker with her laptop, and she was very, very angry. The aliens thought their communications were secure. They were wrong. Amara had spent the last 2 days breaking their encryption. It was not easy. Their technology was far advanced. But Amara was brilliant, and she had something the aliens did not expect. She had motivation. She broke through their firewall at exactly 11:23 p.m. Suddenly, she could see everything. Their communications, their troop movements, their supply lines. She began recording everything and uploading it to secure servers around the world. In Japan, Yuki Tanaka worked in her destroyed office building. She was a cybersecurity expert for one of the largest technology companies in Tokyo. Her father had died in the first hour. Her fiancé had died protecting her. Now she sat among the rubble with 3 other women from her department. They had 1 working computer and a satellite uplink. Yuki's fingers moved across the keyboard with deadly precision. She was not breaking into alien systems. She was building something new, a virus, a weapon made of code. The aliens began their occupation on the 4th day. They expected broken, defeated humans. They expected the women to be crying, traumatized, ready to surrender. They were wrong. The first alien patrol in Moscow died when Elena Volkov detonated an explosive she had made from chemicals in her laboratory. She killed 6 aliens. She was wounded in the blast, but she survived. The second patrol died when a group of teachers led them into a building and collapsed it on top of them. The teachers had been construction workers in their youth. They knew exactly which walls to destroy. The third patrol was killed by a doctor named Lisa Armstrong. She had been a surgeon before the invasion. She knew anatomy. When she cut open an alien corpse, she found something interesting. At the base of their skulls was a neural cluster. It was not protected by their armor. If you hit it correctly, they died instantly. Lisa shared this information with every woman she could find. Within hours, it spread across the city. Within days, it spread across the world. Amy Chen received the information while planning an attack on an alien supply depot. She modified her tactics immediately. Her team of female Marines hit the depot at dawn. They used sniper rifles to target the neural clusters. 37 aliens died. The Marines suffered no casualties. They took the aliens' weapons. They took their armor. They took everything useful and disappeared before reinforcements arrived. In Lagos, Amara Okonkwo used the alien communications she had intercepted to warn resistance groups about patrols. She sent them maps showing weak points in alien defenses. She became the eyes and ears of the resistance. In Tokyo, Yuki Tanaka finished her virus. She uploaded it to a captured alien drone. The virus spread to other drones in the network. Within hours, hundreds of drones shut down. Some turned on their alien masters. On the alien command ship orbiting Earth, the commanders gathered in confusion. The invasion was not going according to plan. The human females were not surrendering. They were fighting. And they were winning. "This is impossible," Commander Drax said. He stared at the casualty reports. In 3 weeks, they had lost 12,000 soldiers. "Our intelligence said the females would submit." "Our intelligence was wrong," said another officer. "These humans are not like other species. The females fight as hard as the males did." "Harder, perhaps? Harder?" Drax could not believe what he was hearing. "They are physically weaker." "This makes no sense." "Perhaps," said the officer quietly. "We should have listened to Commander Zekthor." Drax did not respond. He simply stared at the reports. They were losing. Not quickly, but steadily. The humans were adapting to their technology, learning their tactics, exploiting their weaknesses, and the human females showed no signs of stopping. In Moscow, Elena Volkov stood in a makeshift laboratory. She had gathered other scientists, doctors, engineers, chemists, all women. All of them had lost someone they loved. "We are going to win this war," Elena told them. Her voice was calm, cold. "We are going to kill every alien on our planet. And then we are going to go up there," she pointed at the sky, "and kill them in their homes, just like they did to us." The women around her nodded. They did not cheer. They did not celebrate. They simply went back to work. They had experiments to run, weapons to build, aliens to kill. Outside, the night was full of fire. The war for Earth had just begun. 3 months after the invasion, the Galactic Empire controlled less than 30% of Earth. This should have been impossible. Their projections showed total planetary control within 2 weeks. Instead, they were losing ground every day. Elena Volkov had not slept more than 4 hours a night since her son died. She did not need sleep. Sleep meant dreams, and dreams meant seeing Mikhail's face. Work was better. Work meant progress. Work meant revenge. Her laboratory had grown. It now occupied 3 floors of a partially destroyed university building in Moscow. 42 women worked there. Scientists, engineers, doctors. They worked in shifts around the clock. They had one mission: understand alien technology and use it against them. "Elena, come look at this," called Dr. Sarah Kim, a physicist who had lost her husband and 2 sons in Seoul. She was examining an alien weapon under a microscope. Elena walked over. On the screen, she could see the weapon's internal structure magnified 1,000 times. It was beautiful in a terrible way. Elegant, efficient, deadly. Their weapons use a crystalline matrix to focus energy, Sarah explained. The crystals are grown, not manufactured. They're organic. Can we replicate them? Elena asked. Better, Sarah smiled. It was not a happy smile. I think we can reprogram them. Change their targeting parameters. Make them recognize aliens as enemies instead of humans. Elena felt something cold and satisfied settle in her chest. How long? Give me 2 weeks. You have 1 week, Elena said. We need weapons now. Across the city, Lieutenant Amy Chen led the Valkyrie Corps through the ruins of what had once been Red Square. The Valkyrie Corps had grown from 37 women to more than 4,000. They were not just Marines anymore. They were teachers, nurses, athletes, engineers, mothers, grandmothers, any woman who could hold a weapon and wanted to fight. Amy had divided them into small teams. Each team specialized in different tactics. Some were snipers. Some were demolition experts. Some were infiltrators who could pass as civilians until the moment they struck. Target is 3 blocks north, whispered Sergeant Maria Santos through the comm unit. She was on a rooftop with her sniper rifle. Alien patrol, 6 hostiles moving east on Tverskaya Street. Copy that, Amy replied. She signaled to her team. 12 women moved silently through the rubble. They had done this so many times now it was automatic. Muscle memory. Like breathing, the aliens never saw them coming. The neural clusters at the base of their skulls were exposed for just a fraction of a second. That was all the Valkyrie Corps needed. 6 shots, 6 dead aliens. The team took their weapons and disappeared into the ruins before reinforcements could arrive. It was the 14th successful ambush that week. In Lagos, Amara Okonkwo had expanded her operation. She now had access to 17 alien communication networks. She could see their supply routes, their patrol schedules, their tactical discussions. She shared everything with resistance groups worldwide. But Amara was not satisfied with just intercepting communications. She wanted to disrupt them. She had recruited 32 other women with programming and engineering skills. Together they launched cyber attacks against alien systems daily. I'm inside their logistics network, announced Jennifer Martinez, a former software engineer from Mexico City. They're planning a major assault on the Beijing resistance. 3 days from now, Amara immediately sent warnings to Beijing. She also identified the staging area for the assault. She sent the coordinates to Amy Chen's Valkyrie Corps and to a similar group operating in China. The aliens would find their staging area destroyed before they could launch their attack. In Tokyo, Yuki Tanaka had become something the aliens feared. They called her the ghost in their communications. She had successfully hacked 47 alien drones and turned them against their creators. She had crashed 2 orbital supply ships by corrupting their navigation systems. She had even managed to access an alien commander's personal files and broadcast his messages across human networks, giving resistance groups invaluable intelligence. But Yuki's greatest achievement was still in progress. She was building a network, a global communication system that the aliens could not intercept or disrupt. It connected every resistance group on Earth in real time. The network went live on day 93 of the invasion. Suddenly, women fighting in Moscow could coordinate with women fighting in New York, Lagos, Beijing, Sydney, São Paulo. The resistance became synchronized, coordinated, deadly. On the alien command ship, Commander Drax stared at the reports in disbelief. They had lost 47,000 soldiers in 3 months. They had lost control of major cities. Their supply lines were under constant attack. Their communications were compromised. Their own weapons were being used against them. This is not possible, he said for the 100th time. They are supposed to be the weaker sex. They are supposed to surrender. His second officer, a female alien named Sarta, spoke carefully. Commander, perhaps our understanding of strength was incomplete. Explain, Drax demanded. We assumed strength meant physical power, size, muscle mass. But these human females possess a different kind of strength. They adapt faster than any species we have encountered. They learn from every encounter. They share knowledge instantly across their entire planet. And most importantly, they do not break. Drax wanted to argue, but he could not. The evidence was overwhelming. The human females were not behaving like any conquered species in the Empire's history. They were not cowering. They were not waiting to be saved. They were fighting with a ferocity that bordered on suicidal, except they were winning. There is something else, Sarta continued. Our psychological analysts have been studying captured human communications. The females talk about their dead males constantly. Sons, fathers, brothers, partners. They do not mourn in the way we expected. They do not fall into despair. Instead, they channel their grief into rage. Controlled, intelligent rage. Every alien they kill, they dedicate to their dead. It has become a ritual for them. Drax pulled up a captured video. It showed a human female named Margaret Wilson. She was 63 years old, a grandmother. In the video, she was calmly assembling an explosive device. She spoke into the camera as she worked. "This one is for my husband, John. Married 42 years. You killed him in our kitchen while he was making breakfast. This one is for my son, David. He was a teacher. Taught history to middle school students. You killed him in his classroom. This one is for my grandson, Tyler. He was 7 years old, 7. You killed him while he was playing in our backyard." Margaret finished assembling the device. She smiled at the camera. It was the most terrifying smile Drax had ever seen. "I'm coming for you now," Margaret said. "And I'm not alone." The video ended. Drax learned later that Margaret had destroyed an alien supply depot, killing 42 soldiers. She survived the blast and was responsible for 6 more attacks before she was finally killed. It took 37 aliens to bring her down. She was 63 years old and had weighed maybe 50 kilograms. "I want Commander Zekthor brought here," Drax said quietly. Immediately. Zekthor arrived 6 hours later. He had not been difficult to find. He was exactly where they had left him in his quarters waiting. "You were right," Drax said without preamble. "I am sorry we did not listen." Zekthor looked at the tactical displays. He saw the casualty numbers, the lost territory, the failed operations. He felt no satisfaction, only sadness. "It is too late now," Zekthor said. "You have awakened something that will not stop until every one of us is dead." "There must be a way to end this," Drax insisted. "A negotiation." "Peace terms," Zekthor laughed bitterly. "Peace? You killed their families. You tried to enslave them. You thought they were weak and you treated them with contempt. Now you want peace?" He pulled up the psychological profiles his team had compiled during reconnaissance. "Let me tell you what you are fighting, Commander. Human females bond with their offspring more deeply than almost any species in the galaxy. Their brains physically change when they become mothers. They develop enhanced threat detection, increased pain tolerance, improved ability to function without sleep. Their bodies prepare them to protect their young at any cost." Zekthor continued, his voice hard. "But you did not just kill their offspring. You killed their entire support structure. Every male they loved. Every male they depended on. Every male who made them feel safe. You removed their ability to create new life. You took their future." He pointed at the casualty reports. "So now they have nothing left to lose. And a human female with nothing left to lose is the most dangerous creature in the universe. She does not fight for survival. She fights for revenge. And she will never, ever stop." Drax was silent. Around them, the command center buzzed with activity. Officers shouted reports. Alarms blared warnings. The war was going badly and it was getting worse every day. "What would you do?" Drax finally asked. Zekthor looked at the planet below. Beautiful blue and green, covered in clouds. It looked so peaceful from space. But he knew what was happening on the surface. He knew about the trap the Empire had walked into. "I would retreat," Zekthor said. "I would take every soldier off that planet immediately. I would establish a quarantine zone around their solar system, and I would pray to the old gods that they are satisfied with killing us only on their world, and do not decide to follow us home." "Retreat?" Drax was shocked. "The Empress will never allow it. The orbital weapons platforms activated at exactly 0600 hours. There were 37 of them positioned around Earth. Each one was designed to destroy human cities from space. Now they turned their weapons on the alien fleet." Elena Volkov watched from her laboratory as the first alien ship exploded. The blast lit up the morning sky like a second sun. She felt nothing. No joy, no satisfaction, just cold determination. "Next target," she said calmly. Her team worked in perfect coordination. They had practiced this for 2 weeks. Every woman knew her role. They targeted the alien ships one by one. Supply vessels first, then troop carriers, then command ships. The aliens tried to respond, but they were too slow. Elena's virus had infected their systems. Their ships responded sluggishly. Their weapons misfired. Their shields failed at critical moments. By noon, 18 alien ships had been destroyed. The rest retreated beyond the range of the orbital platforms. The invasion force was in chaos. On the command ship, Empress Valkara herself had arrived to take control. She stood in the command center, her skin color shifting through shades of red and purple. These colors indicated rage and fear. "Explain to me how primitive humans have taken control of our own weapons," she demanded. No one answered. No one wanted to be the one to tell the Empress that they had been outsmarted by the species they were supposed to enslave. Commander Zekthor entered the command center. He had been summoned by the Empress herself. He stood at attention, his scarred body still imposing despite his age. "Commander Zekthor, you tried to warn us about Earth," Valkara said. Her voice was tight with controlled anger. "Speak freely. Tell me everything you know." Zekthor looked at the tactical displays. He saw the casualty numbers. Over 50,000 soldiers dead. 20% of the invasion fleet destroyed. Multiple cities lost. Supply lines severed. He saw the defeat written in every number. "Your Majesty, I told the Council that human females were dangerous. I showed them evidence. They did not listen. Now we are paying the price. Can we still win this war?" Valkara asked. Zekthor was silent for a long moment. Finally he said, "No, Your Majesty. We have already lost. The only question now is how many more soldiers you are willing to sacrifice before you accept this truth." Valkara's skin flashed bright red. "The Galactic Empire does not lose to primitives. With respect, Your Majesty, these are not primitives. They are survivors of a world that has tried to kill them for millions of years. They have survived ice ages, plagues, predators, and each other. They are adaptable, intelligent, and absolutely ruthless when threatened. We gave them a reason to unite. We made them see us as their common enemy. That was our fatal mistake." Down on Earth, Lieutenant Amy Chen was leading the largest coordinated attack since the invasion began. Every resistance group on the planet was involved. They called it Operation Fury. The target was the aliens' main ground base outside Moscow. It housed 10,000 soldiers and most of their remaining supplies. Amy had 8,000 women under her command. They were outnumbered, but they had surprised better knowledge of the terrain and weapons they had taken from the aliens themselves. "All units, this is Valkyrie 1, Amy spoke into her comm. "Today we take back Moscow. Today we show these invaders what happens when they threaten our world. For our fathers, for our brothers, for our sons, for every human they killed, attack." The assault began at dawn. The Valkyrie Corps hit the base from 12 different directions simultaneously. Explosions rocked the alien positions. Sniper fire picked off commanders. Cyber attacks from Amara's team shut down their defenses. The aliens fought back desperately, but they were not prepared for the coordination and ferocity of the attack. The human women fought with a precision that came from months of practice and a rage that came from personal loss. Amy led her team through the main gate. They moved like water, flowing around obstacles, adapting to every challenge. An alien fired at her. She dodged, rolled, and put 3 rounds into his neural cluster. He fell. She kept moving. Her team secured the command center within an hour. The communications hub fell 20 minutes later. The armory was the hardest fight. 37 women died taking it. But they succeeded. By mid-afternoon, the base was theirs. They had captured 2,000 aliens. The rest were dead. Amy stood in the command center, exhausted and covered in blood. Some of it was hers. Most of it was alien. "Valkyrie 1 to all units," she said into the comm. "The base is ours. Moscow is free." Around the world, similar attacks were happening. In Beijing, a force led by Commander Wu Mei retook their city. In Lagos, Amara Okonkwo coordinated an assault that freed Nigeria's capital. In São Paulo, in Sydney, in Mexico City, in every major population center, the human resistance attacked simultaneously. The aliens had never faced anything like this. In their 847 previous conquests, they had never seen a species coordinate global military operations without any central government. The humans did it naturally, organizing themselves through pure necessity and shared purpose. In Tokyo, Yuki Tanaka was executing the most ambitious hack of her career. She had gained access to an alien military transport ship. Not just access to its systems, full control. She could fly it. "This is insane," said her partner, Dr. Lisa Zhang, a physicist who had helped modify the ship's controls for human use. "Probably," Yuki agreed. She sat in the pilot's seat, her hands moving over controls that 3 months ago she did not even know existed. "But if it works, we will have our own spaceship. And if it does not work, then we die." But we were going to die anyway. At least this way we die trying something amazing. Yuki engaged the engines. The ship rose smoothly from its landing pad. Alien soldiers on the ground fired at it, but the shields held. Yuki piloted the ship up through the atmosphere and into orbit. "We did it," Lisa whispered. "We actually did it." "We did more than that," Yuki said. She was looking at the ship's systems. The ship has full schematics for alien technology. Weapons, shields, faster-than-light drives, everything. I am downloading it all right now. Within hours, the schematics were being distributed to every scientist on Earth. Elena Volkov received them in Moscow. She immediately began analyzing the faster-than-light drive. If humans could replicate this technology, they could take the war to the aliens' homeworlds. The thought made her smile. For the first time since her son died, Elena felt something like happiness. It was not joy. It was anticipation. The anticipation of making the aliens feel what she felt, making them know loss, making them know fear. On the command ship, Empress Valkara watched as Earth slipped further from their control. City after city fell. Base after base was overrun. Her soldiers were dying by the thousands, and the human females showed no signs of stopping. "Your Majesty, we must retreat," Commander Drax said. "We have lost this world. If we retreat, it will be seen as weakness throughout the Empire," Valkara argued. "Other conquered worlds might rebel. The Empire could collapse. If we stay, we will lose the entire invasion force," Zekthor said bluntly. "And then Earth will have ships, technology, weapons. They will not be content to remain on their planet. They will come after you. And they will not stop until every member of this empire is dead." Valkara looked at the old warrior. "You really believe they would pursue us across the stars? Your Majesty, you killed their families. You tried to take their world. You gave them the ultimate motivation. Yes, they will pursue you. They will chase you to the end of the galaxy if necessary, because that is what humans do. They do not forgive. They do not forget. And they never ever give up." Zekthor pulled up a video. It showed Dr. Elena Volkov speaking to a gathering of human women. The video had been intercepted from human communications. "We have taken back our cities," Elena said in the video. "We have destroyed their bases. We have killed thousands of them. But this is not enough. It will never be enough. They came to our home. They murdered our families. So we will go to their homes. We will learn to fly their ships. We will master their technology. And we will visit every world in their empire. We will show them what it means to threaten humanity. We will show them what it means to kill our loved ones. This war does not end when they leave Earth. This war ends when they are extinct." The gathered women in the video cheered. They raised weapons into the air. They chanted in multiple languages, but the message was the same. No mercy, no forgiveness, no surrender. Valkara watched the video in silence. Then she turned to her officers. "Prepare the fleet for retreat. All ground forces are to evacuate immediately. We are leaving Earth." "Your Majesty, what about the soldiers we cannot evacuate in time?" an officer asked. Valkara's skin shifted to a dark blue, the color of mourning. "They are casualties of war. We cannot save everyone. Give the evacuation order now." The order went out across all alien forces on Earth. "Retreat, evacuate, leave immediately." The aliens began falling back to their landing sites, fighting desperate rear-guard actions as the human resistance pursued them. But not all of them made it. Thousands were cut off. Thousands more were killed during the retreat. The humans showed no mercy. They had learned from the aliens. They had learned that mercy was a weakness that could be exploited. Elena Volkov stood on a hill outside Moscow and watched as the last alien ships lifted off. They climbed into the sky. 10 years had passed since the invasion. Earth was no longer the same planet the Galactic Empire had tried to conquer. The scars of war remained, but humanity had rebuilt. More importantly, humanity had evolved. Dr. Elena Volkov stood in the command center of the ESS Retribution, Earth's first faster-than-light warship. She was 48 years old now. Her hair had gone gray. Her face carried lines that had not been there before the invasion. But her eyes were still sharp, still focused, still burning with purpose. "We are approaching the outer edge of the Zeklan system," reported Commander Amy Chen. She was the captain of the Retribution now, a military leader respected and feared across human space. "ETA to the Imperial homeworld, 6 hours. Elena nodded. Around her, the bridge crew worked efficiently. All women. Every single one had lost family in the invasion. Every single one had spent the last decade preparing for this moment. The retribution was not alone. It was accompanied by 47 other warships. The entire human fleet, built from captured alien technology and human innovation, crewed by women who remembered. Women who had not forgotten. Women who had promised themselves that justice would come. Have the other worlds been contacted? Elena asked. Yes, Doctor, replied Amara Okonkwo. She was now the head of human intelligence, and had spent years building connections with the other 847 worlds the Empire had conquered. 17 worlds have confirmed they will begin their rebellions when we engage the Imperial fleet. 23 more are ready but waiting to see the outcome. The rest are either too afraid or too damaged to fight. Elena understood. Not every world had survived its conquest as well as Earth. Some had been broken beyond repair. Some had lost the will to resist, but enough were ready. Enough remembered their own invasions. Their own losses. Good, Elena said. Send the message we prepared. Let the Empire know we are here. The message was transmitted on all Imperial frequencies. It was simple, direct, terrifying. This is Dr. Elena Volkov of Earth, representing the Free Worlds Coalition. 10 years ago you came to our world. You killed our families. You tried to enslave us. You thought we were weak because we were female. Today we are here to show you the price of that mistake. This is not an invasion. This is justice. On the Imperial homeworld, Empress Valkara received the message in her throne room. She had aged in the past decade. The defeat at Earth had cost her politically. Many in the Empire had questioned her leadership. Some had called for her removal. But she had held on to power through careful maneuvering and ruthless suppression of dissent. Now she stood before her council, and for the first time in her long reign, Valkara felt true fear. They have 48 warships, reported the military advisor. Each one is equipped with weapons more advanced than anything we have seen. They have somehow improved our own technology beyond what our engineers thought possible. How many ships can we deploy to defend the homeworld? Valkara asked. 317, Your Majesty. But, the advisor hesitated. But what? But our intelligence indicates that 17 of our conquered worlds are preparing to rebel. If they rise up while our fleet is engaged with Earth, we will lose those worlds. We may lose everything. Valkara sat heavily on her throne. This was the nightmare scenario. The one thing the Empire had always feared. A unified rebellion of conquered worlds, and it was all because of Earth. Because they had awakened something that should have been left alone. Where is Commander Zekthor? She asked quietly. He is here, Your Majesty. In the capital. He has been teaching at the military academy. Bring him to me. Now. Zekthor arrived within the hour. He was older, moving more slowly, but his 3 eyes were still sharp. He bowed before the Empress. Commander, you warned us about Earth. You told us not to attack their females. We did not listen. Now they are here at our homeworld with a fleet. Tell me honestly, can we defeat them? Zekthor looked at the tactical displays. He saw the human fleet positioning itself. He saw their formations. He recognized the tactics. They had learned from every battle. They had studied every engagement. They had become better warriors than most species in the galaxy. No, Your Majesty, Zekthor said simply. We cannot defeat them. We could destroy their ships, perhaps. We have superior numbers. But it would not matter. They will keep coming. They will build more ships. They will train more soldiers. They will never stop until the Empire falls. Then what do you suggest? Surrender, Zekthor said. Offer them whatever they want. Peace, reparations, territory, anything. Because if we fight, we will lose. And if we lose, they will show us the same mercy we showed them. Valkara was silent for a long moment. Then she stood. Prepare a delegation. We will negotiate. On the retribution, Elena received the request for negotiations. She looked at Amy, at Amara, at Yuki Tanaka, who had joined them on the bridge, at all the women who had survived, who had fought, who had refused to break. Should we accept? Amy asked. Elena thought about Dmitri, about Mikhail and Pavel, about the 2.4 billion humans who had died, about the futures that had been stolen, the children who would never be born, the lives that would never be lived. Yes, she said finally, we will negotiate. But we will negotiate from a position of absolute strength. They will give us everything we demand, and if they refuse, we will take it. The negotiations took place on a neutral station. Elena led the human delegation. Empress Valkara led the Imperial delegation. Commander Zekthor stood beside his Empress, his presence a silent reminder of his warning 10 years earlier. The two leaders sat across from each other. The room was silent. "What do you want?" Valkara asked. Elena pulled out a datapad. "First, the Empire will release all conquered worlds, all 847 of them. They will be granted full independence immediately." Valkara's skin shifted through multiple colors. "That would destroy the Empire. We would lose everything we have built." "You should have thought of that before you invaded Earth," Elena said coldly. "Second, the Empire will pay reparations to Earth, resources, technology, credits, enough to rebuild what you destroyed." "Impossible. The amount would bankrupt us." "Third," Elena continued as if Valkara had not spoken, "the Empire will surrender all military technology to the Free Worlds Coalition. Your weapons, your ships, your defenses, everything." "You are asking us to commit suicide," Valkara said. "No," Elena said quietly. "We are asking you to disarm. There is a difference. But if you refuse, then yes, we will commit genocide against your species, just as you tried to commit genocide against ours." The room was silent. Valkara looked at Elena and saw no mercy. No compassion. Only cold, calculated justice. "Why?" Valkara asked. "Why not just destroy us? You have the power. You have the motivation. Why offer terms at all?" Elena was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Because we are not you. We do not kill without reason. We do not enslave. We do not conquer. But we also do not forget. We do not forgive. And we will never again allow any species to threaten humanity without consequences." She leaned forward. "Accept our terms, disarm, release your conquered worlds. Pay your debts, and in return we will allow your species to survive. Refuse and we will do to your world what you tried to do to ours. The difference is we will succeed where you failed." Valkara looked at Zekthor. The old warrior nodded slightly. He had known this day would come. He had tried to prevent it. He had failed. "I accept your terms," Valkara said. Her skin had turned the pale blue of total defeat. Elena nodded. She stood and prepared to leave. At the door she paused. "One more thing, Empress. My son was 12 years old when you killed him. His name was Mikhail. He wanted to be a doctor. He would have saved lives. Your soldiers took that future from him, from me, from the entire human species. So understand this, we will be watching. If any species in this galaxy ever again attempts what you attempted, humanity will respond. We are no longer prey. We are no longer victims. We are apex predators now, and you made us this way." Elena left. Behind her, Valkara sat in silence, knowing that the empire she had ruled was finished. Not destroyed, but broken, humbled, reduced to a shadow of its former power. 5 years later, Elena Volkov stood before a memorial on Earth. It was massive, covering hundreds of acres. Every name of every human killed in the invasion was recorded there in holographic light. 2.4 billion names. They scrolled continuously, day and night, a reminder of what had been lost. Elena came here once a month. She would find Dmitri's name, Mikhail's name, Pavel's name. She would stand before them and tell them about her day, about her work, about how humanity was doing. "We freed 847 worlds today," she told them. "The last of the Empire's conquered planets. They are all independent now, all free. The Empire still exists, but it is small. Weak. It will never threaten anyone again." She paused, looking at the names. "Amy Chen commands our defense fleet. Amara Okonkwo runs our intelligence services. Yuki Tanaka oversees all our cyber defenses. We have colonies on 12 worlds now. Humanity is expanding into the galaxy. Not as conquerors, as explorers, as protectors." Elena smiled sadly. "I wish you could see it, Dmitri. I wish Mikhail and Pavel could see what we have built from the ashes. It is beautiful and terrible, and it exists because of what we lost, because of what they took from us. Thank you for watching and comment for next part."